Hi, I'm Lisa Prather, and welcome to The Voice of Health with our host, Dr. Robert Prather of the Prather Practice, where lives are changed every day through the natural approach to healthcare. Well, today we're going to talk about a letter from the United States Surgeon General that all doctors received this August. You got yours this week.
Yeah, just yesterday, actually.
And have you ever received a letter from the United States Surgeon General?
No.
In your 30 years of practice now.
Right.
So this is kind of monumental and important.
It is. It's a big movement that there has been congressional meetings. There's been a presidential meeting. It's a very serious type of situation, and the United States Surgeon General has decided to make this number one priority. She's actually traveling across the United States and speaking to all sorts of different venues to try to bring attention to this problem and to, as they say, turn the tide.
So, what is the urgent healthcare crisis facing America?
Well, the urgent crisis is the opioid addiction that has just overwhelmed the United States. There has been a 300% increase in opioid prescription since 1999.
Wow.
In 2013, there was 249 million prescription opioids written, which is enough for every adult in America. And then it has led to not only an opiate addiction, pharmaceutical, prescription based, but also has led to a heroin crisis in the United States that is just devastating huge areas of America. It's become probably our number one national healthcare crisis, and something that has reached the attention of the government, and it is something that has to be addressed for the health and well-being of America.
Well, I have the letter here, and it opens, "Dear colleague, I'm asking for your help to solve an urgent health crisis facing America, the opiate epidemic. Everywhere I travel, I see communities devastated by opiate overdoses. I meet families too ashamed to seek treatment for addiction. And I will never forget my own patient whose opiate use disorder began with a course of morphine after a routine procedure." And it goes on and on. And she opens it up. "I'm asking for your help to solve this."
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, so how did we get here?
Well, back in the 1990s, it had been decided that we had not been aggressive enough to treat pain. And there had been some studies that showed that there was only a 2% addiction rate, and it was foolish for us not to go on ahead and proceed with aggressive opioid-based prescriptions to help to solve people's pain. That people shouldn't be suffering at the level that they are. So it was aggressively promoted. The doctors were reassured that the warnings of the past where we would not do that were put aside, and massive amounts were prescribed. There was a problem with this. It was all false. The research on that was faulty. The addiction rate is just devastating on the number of people who become severely addicted to the opiates. It really doesn't take near as long. Also, what they did was they had marked down that it was effective for chronic pain, and it's not. Opioids should only be used in acute situations, short-term, or for end of life. And the research, in other words, we based a whole prescription type of a pattern on false research, faulty research.
In her second paragraph, It says, it is important to recognize that we arrived at this place on a path paved with good intentions. Nearly 2 decades ago, we were encouraged to be more aggressive about treating pain, often without enough training and support to do safely. This coincided with heavy marketing of opiates to doctors. Many of us were even taught incorrectly that opiates are not addictive when prescribed for legitimate pain.
Right.
Wow.
So, this was a it has created a disaster. It's changing the course of America, the cost of healthcare. It is devastating communities. It is for the first time lowering the length of life for people. So we're actually seeing a reversal where people were always living longer. We're now seeing that that's actually changed.
Well, I'm sure it's affecting breakdown of the family.
Absolutely.
Much more than, physical death.
Right. I mean, I'm having little old ladies who are having opioid withdrawals who were pastors' wives, who just are horrified that they are addicted to drugs. So this is a crisis that has been made, and with, as they said, with good intentions. But it is a crisis and a situation that is a national crisis, and they've called for everyone to do their part. We had a show earlier on opiates, which was the most listened to program we've ever had, most downloaded program. With this letter coming out, I really wanted to take this opportunity to further promote and educate. I don't think we can do enough on our efforts within our practice to have a solution and to really present that.
Yeah, I've read so far the first 2 paragraphs. In her 3rd paragraph, she says the results have been devastating. Since 1999, opiate overdose deaths have quadrupled, and opiate prescriptions have increased markedly, almost enough for every adult in America to have a bottle of pills. Wow. Yet, the amount of pain reported by Americans has not changed.
Right. Well, and that's the whole thing, is it doesn't work. Not only did we create a whole crisis, but we did nothing for the chronic pain sufferers. Matter of fact, the thing that I have found is even after their problem is solved, they continue with pain, and it's brought on by the opiates. The opiates not only have a situation where they're not working on the pain itself, but even if you've solved the underlying problem, their nervous system is damaged enough, their pain receptors are altered enough, so that the lack of the opiates as you try to work off of it creates a pain pattern. So in other words, if you were taking an opiate and never had a pain in your life, and then you were on it for a certain amount of time and then tried to work off, you would be in pain.
Wow.
So, not only has this not solved the problem, but has actually created a whole pain problem in and of itself.
Yeah, she finishes paragraph 3 with saying, now, nearly 2 million people in America have a prescription opiate use disorder.
And I think that's understated.
Yeah. They're calling it a prescription opiate use disorder. So she's talking about prescription.
Absolutely.
2 million people.
Yeah. Contributing
to increased heroin use and the spread of HIV and hepatitis C. Wow.
Matter of fact, we had a crisis here in Indiana. We had a whole county where Governor Pence, who is not known for his support of drug use, had a free needle exchange just to stop the spread of HIV and hepatitis C in that county. So in Indiana, we have a very real crisis. Matter of fact, there was headlines in the newspaper in Cincinnati where they had a record number of deaths that actually occurred. I think it was like 273 in a weekend of overdose deaths. that were associated with opiate
And we're
use.
the Midwest.
Well, actually, the Midwest is the main place where this is hitting. Mm-hmm. So the epicenter is in the Ohio Valley, with West Virginia, Ohio, and southern Indiana as the worst areas.
Kind of the crossroads of America? Or
Right.
Wow.
It's just a huge problem.
Mm-hmm. So you talked a little bit the results of overprescribing opiates. Anything more that you want to talk about there?
You know, when you're talking about that overprescribing of the opiates, one, when you start to move people off, it's fueled the whole heroin epidemic. What they did was they just the people who were selling heroin just followed the opiate where it was mainly prescribed, largest amounts, and then they went to the clinics where they were dealing with people who were prescription, who were addicted through the prescriptions, and they were cutting them off. So people were going into withdrawal, and with no alternative, and so you've got little old ladies who are dealing with heroin dealers to actually keep themselves sane.
Yeah.
So the results have been devastating. Not only have we had that, but you talked about the spread of hepatitis C and HIV. Mm-hmm. We're talking about a decrease in the lifespan that's expected for people in Middle America, where the lifespan has been increasing over the years. It's actually now decreasing. Mm-hmm. So, this is a devastating type of problem that's costing the country billions in dollars. It's devastating lives. It is something that it has created a tremendous amount of shame, breakdown in morals. So, what is it that we can do to actually stem this tide? And, that's really what we're trying to have this show about.
Okay. When we come back, let's talk about what must be done. This is a letter from the United States Surgeon General. You can win a free 60-minute massage in a relaxing spa at the Prather practice. Each month we have a drawing to give away a free massage to one of our lucky Facebook and Twitter fans. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter on our website at thevoiceofhealthradio.com. This is The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather. The Voice of Health Wellness Tip with Dr. Robert Prather of the Prather Practice. Well, what is the Gallup report?
The first ever annual report on people's awareness of chiropractic. The Gallup system has never really done a survey on actual chiropractic to find out where people are with chiropractic, their understanding.
So what did they find out? How do people view chiropractic?
About 14% of the population on a yearly basis use chiropractors. Mm-hmm. About 50% of all adults have been to a chiropractic, and they have a very positive view of chiropractic. We have the highest satisfaction rate of any healthcare professional.
Interesting.
With the people who've actually visited us.
Mm-hmm. And experienced it. People have a lot of opinion that haven't even gone to one.
Right, and have no idea what it is. Uh-huh. So when they asked people who had not been to a chiropractor, the other 50%, of those, 25% said chiropractic they considered was dangerous. Uh-huh. Have you had any experience with chiropractic? No.
Interesting.
The other group was like, I'm not really quite sure. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of misconception on that, on what's actually going on. And there's a lot of opinions that really don't hold water. One of the things that keeps people away from chiropractic is it safe? Is this a safe modality? And even a lot of professionals aren't aware of the facts that's associated with that. But according to an independent group called the Insurance Company, which does, if you are in the insurance business, you know that they are extremely thorough because they're talking about their money. Chiropractic malpractice has the lowest rates of any healthcare professional. Nurses have a higher malpractice rate. Dental assistants have a higher malpractice rate. My medical assistant has a higher malpractice rate than I do. So, the thought patterns on that chiropractic is dangerous. It is actually the least dangerous of all the healthcare systems out there. Mm-hmm. The research is just, overwhelming on the benefit of chiropractic.
Schedule your appointment at the Prather practice, 317-848-8048. That's 317-848-8048. Or learn more on our website at thevoiceofhealthradio.com. The Prather practice, restoring hope. Listening to The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather of the Prather Practice, the most comprehensive wellness center in the Midwest. Today we're talking about a letter from the United States Surgeon General that all physicians and healthcare providers received in the nation because of this healthcare crisis. So, Dr. Prather, how is the effort going in reducing the opioid crisis right now?
Terrible. Mm-hmm. They have goals, and they're trying to keep track of those, and the opioid prescriptions have actually increased, even this year. Mm-hmm. So it is a at this point a complete failure. The overdose has steadily increased. So all indications is that the prescription rate is increasing, not decreasing.
You mean the prescription rate is increasing?
Yes.
Wow.
Even though I know that there's a huge effort along those lines, many of the physicians, there is an expectation now of getting something for pain. Mm-hmm. And whenever you have a momentum, it takes a while to change it. It's not something that can be changed overnight. One of the things is even the Affordable Health Care Act has contributed to the crisis itself. One of the things is that we have gone into a system of payment based on results. And the patients get to rate the doctors on how well they're doing. Mm-hmm. And so if you are in pain and you've been used to taking opioids and you go into the doctor's office and you say, I'm in pain, I need some opioids, and the doctor says no, you're going to write them a bad review. Mm-hmm. If you write them a bad review, they don't get paid. Mm-hmm. And then the accountant comes down and tells the doctor, you satisfy this patient. Mm-hmm. The doctor says, well, he went opiates. And the accountant says, give him opiates. Mm-hmm. So we have a system that is broken. Mm-hmm. And
it doesn't sound like healthcare, does it?
We've tried to fix it, and the fix is at this point not working.
Yeah, in this letter from the United States Surgeon General, he says, now nearly 2 million people in America have a prescription opioid use disorder, and we talked about that, contributing to increased heroin use and the spread of HIV and hepatitis C. So, Dr. Prather, what must be done? I think of our own office.
Right.
And if people come in as new patients that are on any type of opiate, I would say most people, we either get them off or they decrease.
Yes.
I was thinking of a patient we discharged yesterday. He came in with pain levels of a 9 a month ago, was taking 2 to 3 opiates a day when he came in, and now he hasn't taken one in 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. And he's leaving here discharged after a month with his pain levels going from a 9 to a 2,
right,
with no opiate use.
Right.
Yes.
So
there is an answer.
There is an answer.
Yes. So, Dr. Prather, what must be done?
Well, we need to change the concept of healthcare. We need to understand, really, first off, is you don't give opiates for chronic pain. Mm-hmm. The research is that the opiates do not change chronic pain levels. So, you just have to first off say, hey, this is not an alternative for this type of care. Mm-hmm. And knowing that opiates are wonderful. Opiates are great for short-term acute pain, post-surgical, those types of things. Even then, you need to be careful with the patient and make sure that they get worked off. We just had a patient with a hip replacement, had a lot of fibromyalgia type of conditions, so it was very, we were concerned about that. Definitely needed some opiates, but we were able to treat her immediately afterwards, get the pain level down, so there was a very minor amount of opiates, and then we've been able to gradually reduce that and get her off of those. Mm-hmm. So, you need to have a good management program, even for the acute cases, or basically end-of-life type of situations. It's really what opiates should, that's what should be going on. So we need to, first off, get the doctors educated, and then that's really the first step. Not to even start them on it.
Right. And this is fourth paragraph that the United States Surgeon General writes, I know solving this problem will not be easy. We often struggle to balance reducing our patients' pain with increasing their risk of opiate addiction. But as clinicians, we have the unique power to help end this epidemic. As clinical as times they are may seem, the public still looks to our profession for hope during difficult moments. This is one of those times.
Sure, and as we look at this, the first thing that's highlighted on here on the for the physicians is just what it says right there.
In general, do not prescribe opiates as the first-line treatment for chronic pain. Yes, so the Surgeon General sent out kind of before prescribing 4 things to look at.
Sure.
Right.
And the first thing that's highlighted is don't prescribe opiates for chronic pain. Mm-hmm. So that's the first thing that he said on that is just to make sure that you do not do that.
Right.
So that is first off not an option, and that is one thing that is hard to change because the physicians have been trained that that's the first thing that you do. Matter of fact, as you were looking at the American Pain Academy, it was just this last year that they changed their guidelines. So the guidelines before were opiates were the first line of treatment for chronic pain. Now they have come out and said opiates should not be used at all for chronic pain. And the alternatives on that, is what they've actually spelled out, and that's what we're really trying to promote.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about what part does the Prather practice have in this effort?
Well, one of the things is we are uniquely positioned to provide some answers along those lines. Mm-hmm. One of the main things that we do here is to provide proven methods of chronic pain relief. And the research has really backed us up on that this is really the most effective means, and this is where people really need to go. Because many of the primary care physicians or other physicians said, well, what do I do? Mm-hmm. I've got this patient in pain. I don't want to just leave them in pain. Doctors are compassionate people. Mm-hmm. And they want to have an answer, and if you don't have an answer, then it's not something that you really want to communicate. Mm-hmm. It's not something that it's frustrating. So, but we do have an answer on how to handle chronic pain.
Mm-hmm. Well, so what? Let's talk further about that answer.
Sure.
Because I see it day after day here. We had a gal even yesterday came in with heel pain. She cleans house. Mm-hmm. She's cleaning houses 5 hours a day. She's in her 60s. Could barely function. You were able to, her heel bone was misaligned, was able to align her foot bones.
Sure.
There are many. And the pain
was gone. Yes. This had been something that she had seen 6 different physicians for, had all sorts of rehab, had taken medication for, and had tried so many different types of aspects. And really the first thing that is absolutely true, and you run the rehab department, you're an occupational therapist, we've had physical therapists here. It's amazing if you can get the skeletal structure aligned, how much pain is reduced, and then you can actually start to make some effort.
Right.
If the skeletal structure is off, if the basis of the house is off, if you're a builder, the house isn't going to work right. The same is true of the human body. What we are in our office is called a structure function office. And you have to have, pain is very much involved in the structural portion of how the body works. So if the structure is off, and the basis of that is the skeletal structure, you are not going to be able to fix the pain. So the first line of treatment on this is really chiropractic. And
you make my job so much easier.
Well,
and the patients,
sure. And
we want them aligned first. Helps me and their process and corrective exercise so much easier.
And I'm such a huge proponent of rehab, of the proper exercises to get the function back, and for long-term type of correction, that's absolutely essential. The chiropractic portion is to get the structure back into proper position so that then as you do the exercises, it's so much more effective, so much more long-lasting. And one of the things that one of the gentleman who came in that you were talking about earlier with the chronic pain on his back, he had 2 surgeries before with some relief at that time, but then a very bad situation later on. Had been told, well, don't go to a chiropractor because you'll have to go forever. And after how long was it? Just after a month. We're dismissing him on the chiropractic. Right. And he says, this isn't anything that I had expected. I had been warned not to do this, but quite frankly, I was at the end of my rope. I really preferred to die than continue to live because this just wasn't living. And so he said, what do I got to lose? And as he did it, he had found that just how effective that was, and that was something that now as he does the rehab, because he had tried that before, now with the correction of the spinal, the rehab was working. Right. The corrective exercises were now working. And that's one of the things that I feel about our office that is so unique, is that we don't have just chiropractic here, we don't have just rehab, we just don't have acupuncture, we don't have just massage, but we combine them all, and as we can combine them, that's when we really get the amazing results. Right. Okay, when we come back, a letter from the United States Surgeon General.
Listen to the Voice of Health Radio on your smartphone or tablet on all of the top radio apps available. TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. You can find these apps and more on our website at thevoiceofhealthradio.com. This is The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather. Laughter is the best medicine.
It's bad when Taco Bell has a health food menu. I don't know if you all seen this commercial, but there's a commercial where a woman willingly gets on television and says, I've lost 25 pounds on the Taco Bell drive-thru diet. That's called diarrhea. See a doctor.
Are you frustrated by not getting to the root cause of your health issue? Are you tired of not knowing why you're always fatigued? Are you wanting to say no to toxic drugs? Have you lost hope? Are you just tired of being sick and tired? At the Prather Practice, we want you to know that we have the answers for you. We offer the alternative to the disease care model. We are the drug-free model to health and wellness. At the Prather Practice, we look for the underlying cause of your health problem and not just the symptomatology. Through thorough diagnostics, we find your individual health blueprint for your treatment. Where the disease care model is symptom-based, the structure-function model we practice gets to the root of your health issue. The Prather practice is the most comprehensive wellness center in the Midwest. Our integrated practice offers you the most treatment options to restore your health and your hope. Learn more about the Prather practice by calling 317-848-8048 or learn more on our website at thevoiceofhealthradio.com. I'm Lisa Prather, and you're listening to The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather of the Prather Practice, where we get to the root cause of your health issue. Well, we're talking today about a letter from United States Surgeon General that all practitioners received this week in the mail. It starts out with, "Dear colleague, I am asking for your help to solve an urgent health crisis facing America, the opiate epidemic." And goes on to say that the results have been devastating since the 1999 opiate overdose deaths have quadrupled and opiate prescriptions have increased markedly, almost enough for every adult in America to have a bottle of pills. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, we account for, United States accounts for 80% of all opioid prescriptions.
Wow. So let's talk about the Surgeon General sent an enclosed pocket card with the CDC opiate prescribing guidelines, and we talked about the first thing that's highlighted. In general, do not prescribe opiates as the first line treatment for chronic pain.
Correct.
What I don't see on this card is chiropractic,
acupuncture.
We have something called point stimulation that's been very helpful, auricular therapy. So let's talk about, how does the Prather practice treat chronic pain?
Well, one of the things that that we do is we combine the things that are very involved in this. And what we are is we are a structure function office. So diagnostics, proper evaluation, the first thing that he said on here is that you have to assess the pain and function. Okay? Mm-hmm. You need to have a good baseline of really what you're working with, and that's really where we stand out. We have we provide the best diagnostics that are available. We also are very, very good on evaluating pain. What is the cause of it, where it's actually coming from. That's where we can really stand out. So diagnostics is absolutely, and evaluation and evaluating the function and the structure of the situation is really where we can find out the underlying cause. Mm-hmm. It's just like with this gal with the foot pain. There are 54 articulations in the foot, and if the foot's out of place, it's going to hurt no matter what you do. Mm-hmm. And no one else really evaluated that. Mm-hmm. So if they don't know what the cause is, you can't actually fix it.
Right.
If you don't know, you can't treat it. Mm-hmm. For the gentleman with the back pain you were talking about before, it was scar tissue from the surgeries. Mm-hmm. was the main issue. Mm-hmm. So, being able to work with that scar tissue and being able to get that under control, that was essential. So you need to identify, and evaluation and diagnostics are critical. And we're very, very good at that.
Outcome assessments.
Certainly.
So we have a baseline, your pain levels, mm-hmm. your function. It gives you kind of what we call an activities of daily living disability rating, so they know exactly, this pain level is affecting 40% of your awake hours, your mm-hmm. Activities of daily living, and it's just really exciting when we reevaluate. Seeing those pain levels go down, seeing the functionality increase and improve, and giving them back their quality of life. We talked a little bit about, chiropractic's part of that. Anything more you want to talk about that and acupuncture?
Well, one of the things is we also try to provide the best benefit of chiropractic. Not only a lot of places have limited number of chiropractic types of options. We have actually offered 25 different chiropractic techniques. So we can gear your chiropractic care to your particular situation. The gentleman with the back pain we were talking about had tried 2 other chiropractors, and they were using a diversified type of technique. And for when you have a type of problem that he had with his back, that was completely contraindicated. In other words, that was not going to be effective. Whereas as we could combine more of a soft tissue type of technique to his back situation, his results were excellent. He could tell on the very first adjustment that he was better, which he was shocked. He did not expect it. Matter of fact, he came in very, very skeptical. I mean, he was trying to be nice, but he was not believing in us whatsoever. But he figured what has he got to lose? So when you're in a point of desperation, and when we went through, one of the things is we have one of the top radiologists in the world who actually reads our x-rays and tells us really what to do. So I was going through his x-rays, and he had tons and tons of pictures done, and no one had really explained to him what was causing his pain. He had, that explanation had not been there. And so this was the first time that we were able to explain to him exactly what we were going to be doing. It actually made sense, and this was a totally different approach. And after the first treatment, he actually had hope. Because he said, I can feel a difference. And that's one of the things that everyone says as they come in. You do understand. Now, it, of course, takes more than one time. Right. Because, this is something that he had been having for 10 years. But we were able, in a relatively short amount of time, a month, get him from a 9 to a 2.
And his pain level. On his pain level.
And chiropractic is an essential part of that, but we don't just stop there.
I was thinking, just ask Tom Brady.
Yeah, Tom Brady. I mean, it's a very big thing. And see, this is a real problem because, we're starting to move in the direction of including the chiropractic principles into the regular healthcare, and we are really in this office trying to integrate into the healthcare system, and we're trying to get the structure function portion of the healthcare into our mainstream type of medicine, so this is available for everyone. Right. This is offered on a regular type of basis as a first-line treatment. And that is really our biggest goal within our office, is to change healthcare in America.
So you talked about the chiropractic. How about what role does acupuncture play?
Acupuncture is very, very excellent because the damage of the opioids decrease our natural ability to produce our own opioids and to decrease our receptors along those lines. So people no longer are able to handle pain on their own. That's why in chronic pain situations, opiates actually makes it worse because it destroys our own body's opiate production, and the receptors are no longer functioning properly. So acupuncture is uniquely designed, which has been a proven type of thing, is that it increases our own natural opioid receptors and also increases our natural production of opiates. So we are then actually using the acupuncture to start to heal, and over a long period of time with the acupuncture, people are actually starting to able to control their pain on their own. And they get immediate relief as they're doing it. It's most of the people, as soon as I stick needles in them, fall asleep.
They do.
And they're like, what the heck was that? I don't even fall asleep during the massage, and you stick some needles in me and I'm out. Well, we're very well trained on where to place the needles for which type of pain, so that the natural opiates and the natural receptors become more up to par, more sensitive. And you all of a sudden get that opiate release into the body, natural release, which feels really good, and helps your ability to handle pain on its own.
So what other modalities are beneficial to the treatment of chronic pain that you provide here at the Prather practice?
Well, obviously, when we can get someone under pain, we have homeopathy, we have some natural herbs, we have some vitamins and minerals that are well known to help with your ability to handle pain.
I love our Formula 303, natural muscle relaxant.
Excellent, and very, very safe. You never become addicted to any of the things that we provide. They're all based on structure-function care, and you can take as much as you want, and you don't have to worry about anything, which is fantastic. So we have those types of things that you can actually take. We also provide natural shots into, we have some natural steroids. We provide some natural relief along those lines. So we can do shots for really severe type of cases. We can provide the rehab. When you can get someone finally out of pain, then you can actually start to work the muscles, get the strength back in there so that the condition doesn't reoccur. We're not here to try to keep treating you for pain for the rest of your life. We want to get you out of pain so then we can do the rehab. And as you're doing the rehab at that point, you're not going to injure yourself or increase the pain, which is one of the problems if things aren't functioning right. And as we can do that, then we can really see the changes actually occur.
So, Dr. Prather, can you help with the opiate addiction? With
Absolutely.
The structure-function model?
We have several things. One, we can work with auricular therapy. Auricular therapy is a very, very powerful way of getting opiate addiction under control.
It works the brain.
Works the brain. We have something that we can do it at the time, and then also something that you can walk around with, which is very, very, we've had people with opiate addiction say it's amazing. It's called a P-stim. They can walk around with it, and it does wonderful things.
Okay, and in this letter that came out from the United States Surgeon General, I want to read the last paragraph. Years from now, I want us to look back and know that, in the face of a crisis that threatened our nation, it was our profession that stepped up and led the way. I know we can succeed because healthcare is more than an occupation to us. It is a calling rooted in empathy, science, and service to humanity. These values unite us. They remain our greatest strength. Thank you for your leadership. And that's from the United States Surgeon General.
Yes.
Up next, hear how Chris lost 32 pounds in 8 weeks with the Prather Plan. Never miss an episode of The Voice of Health so that you can stay informed and empowered about your health. Get a podcast of our show automatically delivered to you every week by signing up for our show on iTunes. You can find that link on our website at thevoiceofhealthradio.com. And don't forget, thevoiceofhealthradio.com has complete archives of all of our past episodes with an audio library of information to help you add more life to your years and more years to your life. This is The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather. The Voice of Health Wellness Tip with Dr. Robert Prather of the Prather Practice. Dr. Prather, there is a device you use at your office called the electrodermal screening, or EDS. Tell us a little bit about it and why you call it the lie detector for the body.
Well, the electrodermal screening unit is a galvanic skin response unit, and it actually falls under the same category as a lie detector test or biofeedback. So it is actually, we can actually rig our electrodermal screening to actually do lie detector. But it is also a good term on that is a lie detector for the body. When you're actually, you know a whole list of different types of products that could possibly work in each type of situation, but everybody knows that not everybody responds well to penicillin. Some people actually have some very negative reactions to it, matter even to death. Some people, it's a lifesaver. Well, that's true of everything. And what the electrodermal screening does is it actually gives you a predetermination on how you're actually going to respond to any type of thing that we might prescribe to you before you actually take it, which is extremely helpful. Now, it's not a diagnostic tool. It is not classified as a diagnostic tool. But as we've gotten the approval from the federal government on the use of it, we use it purely as a means of checking to see the body's response before you would actually take something.
Okay.
So it's a response machine. Mm-hmm. Now, you have to have knowledge beforehand on what products will actually work with each type of condition.
Right.
So we're very dependent upon our lab tests and the gold standard types of diagnostic tests. But then once you've determined that, what do you do with that? Because in our instrument, we have actually 80,000 different products that we can check on.
Wow.
So with that, we can actually find out what's going to work the best for you and how you're going to respond on things before you actually take them.
And what about its effectiveness?
Through clinical studies, they have found that it's 80% accurate, over 80% accurate, which, was what actually attracted me to it, because there's not too many things that you can actually have that kind of results with.
Right. And this electrodermal screening eliminates some of the guessing.
The guesswork is the biggest thing that we're trying to get rid of.
Schedule your appointment at the Prather Practice, 317-848-8048. That's 317-848-8048. Or learn more on our website at thevoiceofhealthradio.com. The Prather Practice, restoring hope.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling, yeah. Street lights.
You're listening to The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather of the Prather Practice, where our mission is restoring hope to our patients. For our Restoring Hope segment this week, we now go to Elaine Reisner with another patient success story from the Prather Practice.
We are joined by Chris to share his story at the Prather Practice. Now, Chris, you've been a patient of ours for quite some time, but
a long time, actually.
Recently, there was a new health situation that brought you into the practice, correct?
It's very correct.
Okay, tell me about that.
Well, I had gained a lot of weight and was doing everything that I knew to do, from going to the gym to trying to do cardio, an hour a day, 45 minutes a day, and just doing everything that I thought I could do to correct that. Of course, probably not eating, well, not probably, I wasn't eating very well. So I was trying to compensate with over-exercising, which again put extreme stress on my body. I'd been battling an endocrine issue anyway. I had been here with Dr. Prather over thyroid issues and hypothalamus issues, which of course affect your weight gain or loss.
Oh, yeah.
And but I'd also been dealing with a severe depletion in my testosterone levels, and they were below 350. So started doing testosterone therapy, which worked extremely well, actually gave me my life back.
Awesome.
And
here at the Prather Practice as well.
Here at the Prather Practice as well. Very, very wonderful routine, watched over very carefully by Dr. Prather and Lauren, the nurse practitioner here. But still just fat, just couldn't seem to get rid of the fat. And I'm a public figure. I'm in front of the public all the time, and I wanted to do something about that. But I also hit 50 years of age, and I didn't want to live my next 50 years like I did my previous 50 years. So I want to be healthy. I want to live a long time and take care of myself. So I came in, I talked with you, and Elaine, you suggested maybe the weight loss program. We sat down and talked about the HCG program here. And really what happened in the process was a mind renewal. I've had to think differently. The HCG helped give me the kickstart that I really needed to change my mind.
I like that.
And to change how I eat and how I look at my body. And it really has affected the whole way that I look at my physical health in my life. And the results that you get from the HCG are encouraging enough and fast enough to really keep you excited about being healthy and eating healthy and making right choices. I don't think anybody can just do the chemical formula of HCG and not follow the protocol fully and have the results.
Sure.
But if you do, and you let that help you change your mind, you let it empower you to change your mind, you will get the results, but you'll also get a new life. And so since doing that, really I started seeing things about how I had been eating, the lies you tell yourself to do what you want when you know that it's not good for you, but you do it anyway, actually kind of becomes a little bit of an addiction issue. And so it helped me.
Good.
And I've lost 32 pounds. I dropped from a size 50 pants down to 38.
Which is phenomenal.
But I have kept my upper good looks and handsomeness. But in the meantime, working out and exercising, I added an inch to my arms, which I used to have nice arms, and they're back now to some degree. Added an inch to my legs in the exercise I was doing, and starting to feel the recovery of my muscles in my body.
Sure, and you lost 4 inches in your waist, though, which is
lost
phenomenal.
4 inches in my waist.
You lost it where you wanted to and gained it where you wanted
Absolutely.
to, which is great.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And it's been cool to be able to meet with you weekly, and I think it was either last week or 2 weeks ago, you felt like you've gained, like 15 years on your life back
Absolutely.
or something like
that.
that?
That was the statement I made.
Yeah.
I told my wife that and some of the other people that I've talked to about it. I really do feel like I've gained 15 years of my life back.
Yeah.
Of energy, of outlook, of positiveness, I've never been a negative person. I've always been an upbeat, get up and go kind of guy. And the testosterone therapy helped me regain that back by getting my hormones back adjusted. But this program really, the HCG program, really gave me a strong understand. I really feel like I've gained 15 years of my life.
Good. Awesome.
I'll be 51 next month. Almost nobody believes that because I don't look it.
Sure.
And I like that.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, and I always tell people when they come in for the first consult that I'm not someone that I get you on the scale and I say, oh, good job, see you later. Like, I want to make sure that this is a lifestyle change and every aspect of your wellness is improving, whether it be your self-esteem, your relationships, your self-worth and that type of thing. And I feel like, you've been my ideal client, that if all my clients could feel this good at the end, which most of them do, that's my goal for you. And you've been wonderful to work with, and
you have been wonderful to work with.
Thank you.
You really just having someone to talk out some of the mental issues that go with trying to combat. I don't want to fall back. I don't want this. I don't want to fail. Just having another voice. And a kind voice, by the way.
Thanks.
Non-judgmental. And that was a key. That was really a great thing. You do a great job with that, in that you're not going to care more about it than I have to. I have to care about myself and do it for me. However, your encouragement in the process was tremendous.
Oh, thank you.
And has been.
Thanks.
And I would highly recommend you in this program to anybody.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So, of course, there's people out there. Weight is a huge issue, not only for the state of Indiana, but I think nationwide, as far as people that need to lose weight or wanting to lose weight. So if someone is listening right now that is struggling with a weight issue, what is some advice that you would give them?
Stop the madness. Get in here. There are answers. It's not magic, and you're going to have to work for it, but you worked to get where you are, work to get where you want to be. All of us work to overeat and put ourselves in the condition we're in. So there shouldn't be too much difficulty or strain to understand that you're going to have to work to get out of it.
Sure.
However, the fruit of it that's the benefit. The fruit of it is your future. The fruit of it is getting to see your great-grandchildren. The fruit of it is feeling good every day when you get up. I have two parents who are extremely obese, sad to say, and have a lot of health problems. And I made the decision, I'm not following it. My dad's a very wonderful man, but I'm not following in the footsteps of my father in that way. And I made up my mind I'm not doing that. And
good for you.
So if you're struggling with your weight, stop struggling. There's an answer. Get in here, struggle to lose it. Don't struggle with it.
Nice. Awesome. Well, Chris, thank you for sharing your story. It's been great to be able to work with you over the past few months, actually, and we'll see where you go from here, right?
I've enjoyed it.
Awesome.
We're going to keep at it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
The Prather practice is located at 8902 North Meridian Street on the north side of Indianapolis, just south of the I-465 loop. If we can help you to achieve better health, we'd love to hear from you. Connect with our office at 317-848-8048. That's 317-848-8048. Join us again here next week or anytime on our website at thevoiceofhealthradio.com for The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather. The Prather Plan weight loss program is safe, comprehensive, medically supervised, and designed just for you. Forget the trendy diets and instead start with a roadmap that actually resets your body's metabolism for optimal fat burning and increased energy. The Prather Plan has 6, 10, or 14-week programs with a proven record of success and with guaranteed weight loss. The Prather Plan is an individualized program that is tailored to your needs to create healthy new habits in your life. You'll receive support from a certified health counselor, a nutritionist, and an exercise physiologist for maximum results. Many weight loss programs can include unhealthy loss of muscle or organ weight. We target your ideal body fat percentage so you can lose body fat in a healthy way where the pounds stay off. Contact the Prather Practice today to schedule a consultation and create a healthier you. 317-848-8048 or on the web at thevoiceofhealthradio.com. The Prather Practice, restoring hope.